Right, in today's episode of Fitpod, we have very special guests, local businessmen, PTs, World Boxing Championships, Stephen and Brandon, and their middle secret brother, which they didn't give me any introduction to. Welcome to Fitpod, boys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Right, how was it, gentlemen? Did you find your way all right here from down the road?
All of 2 second
Just
walk,
about.
yeah.
Nice. I was hoping you don't get lost, you know. It's just literally one straight down the road.
Apart from he took us into the takeaway.
It's not a bad thing, really. It's not a bad thing, you know. Right, gents, I've got a few questions about health, fitness, and nutrition. Obviously, all your backgrounds is from health, fitness, and nutrition. Now, you've got an amazing story that I want you to share with our viewers. And the bottom line is I want you, hopefully, we can inspire someone to either get into fitness or get into kickboxing or martial arts, whatever it is. Somebody who's sitting on their couch, being lazy, thinking, you know what, if they can do it, I can do it, and I am going to do it. So the reason for this podcast is promoting good, healthy living. Now, it's not necessarily you have to go to the gym to be healthy. You could be a fighter like yourselves. You could be, you know, anything. As long as you're off that couch and away from the TV, we're on to a winner.
Yeah.
So, Stephen, I want to start with you. What's your story? Why do you do what you do?
Oh God, where do we start? So I was a bullied fat kid, really. I was a little fat kid. I had glasses and braces. Every year at school, I was picked on for one of those things. Yeah. And I was quite passive. So like I would just, I'd suck it up and just cry all the time. I was a proper crybaby. And then after a period of time, I would just explode. And I'd end up fighting with said bully and would end up winning. And then I'd kind of, the following year, I'd be in a new year at school, and then it would happen, the kind of cycle would happen over again. And yeah, it just kind of, my parents got fed up of seeing me get bullied and seeing me coming home crying all the time from school. And
Was that in primary school or secondary?
From primary school.
Oh,
Yeah.
bloody hell.
To be
You've had
fair-
a hard life.
Yeah. So yeah, it started from early years and then kind of went on from there, really.
And then what inspired you to say, you know what, I want to get into fitness or I want to get into kickboxing? Like, was kickboxing the first thing that you went in, or did you kind of join the gym first and then from there kind of fell into it?
Nah, so like first it was the only thing I was ever seemed to be any good at. Like I was rubbish
Kicking.
at football, kicking people. Like I was, every time I got into a fight, I won, and it was like, or maybe I'm good at this, you know. And obviously my parents put me into taekwondo to start with. I enjoyed it. I was good at it, and I was progressing bit by bit. And then I went to a competition, and I didn't actually win my first competition, to be fair. I got disqualified because in taekwondo I didn't really know the rules, and I punched a guy in the face. And taekwondo's a kicking martial art, right? So I get disqualified, and then yeah, it just kind of all went from there, really. I then dabbled in judo. I wanted to go boxing, but my mum wouldn't let me at the time because in her eyes it was too dangerous. And then she let me go kickboxing. I don't know how that works. And then yeah, it just kind of went from there, really. I never really looked back, and then that's when these guys started to kind of get joined into kickboxing stuff. I started my own club. And then from that point, you were already doing it, weren't you, before?
I was already doing it by then, yeah.
So we were travelling over to like Chesham, which is like half hour, 40 minutes from here.
Chalfont as well.
And Chalfont and Amersham, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then Grant was coming with me, and then I started my own club eventually because I'd applied to join the army and I didn't get in because I had eczema on my records. And our coach, Mike Zillis, is absolute legend. So he started Pegasus like back in 1978. And he's ex-military, ex-air dispatch. And so when I applied for the army and I didn't get in, he kind of then, no pun intended, took me under his wing. And then it kind of all went from there. I went away, done my personal training course out in Spain for 6 weeks, which was awesome. and then come back, done my black belt, and started setting up my club. And then Brandon was kind of starting.
See, you know, when a lot of like nowadays, you've got fat kids in school who get bullied, and how would you inspire them to like kind of come out? Because it's a serious thing, isn't it? Getting bullied in school.
God, yeah.
And not everyone can say, you know what, I'm good at this, because person who gets bullied not necessarily knows how to fight.
Of course.
Right? You know, they just get bullied. Or I've not been bullied, so I don't know. But I can kind of imagine it's kind of traumatizing. So, and what would you say to those kids that do get bullied? Like, where can they find help? What would you say to them? Look, do X, Y, and Z.
Do you know what?
To kind of overcome.
It's such a hard one because politically we shouldn't say what you should do. Like in my eyes, the only thing that ever worked was getting into a fight. Telling the teachers didn't work. Going home crying didn't work. The only time it stopped was once I punched a kid in the face. And I know that's not very PC, but that's what worked for me.
But
and
if it's not even about being politically correct. If you're getting bullied, mate, get up and fight.
And do you know what? Like, as an adult now, I look back on it and I wouldn't change how I dealt with it because I was very passive and I took it for a long time. But a lot of it comes from confidence. Once you build that confidence, and now as we've been coaching for so long, like, you start to realize that actually the more you carry yourself with confidence and you push your chest out and your shoulders are back and you carry yourself
Be a
well,
man.
Yeah, you be a man. People will leave you alone.
Yeah.
You know, people pick on you because they think you're a pussy and they think that you're scared and that you're just an easy target. Easy targets are who we all pick on.
See, the secret is, even if you can't fight, it's how you
carry yourself.
100%.
You know, if you're gonna be a fat kid with a burger in your hand, and you know, it's nice. You know, you're just a kid. You should be able to do whatever you want. You know, in the playground. That no one's telling you be ready to fight.
No, and that's it. I'm not saying you should be ready to fight and you should be aggressive or horrible to anyone, but you should find something that gives you confidence and that allows you to kind of believe in yourself and carry yourself better.
Yeah.
You know, if you're walking around meek and mild, people are going to pick on you. And that's
that's
a sad
even
fact
now.
of life. Yeah.
Even men, you know, like get picked on the streets just because the way they carry themselves. And that person might be, you know, a kickboxer or something. I don't know. It could be a boxing champion, you know, but just the way he is, very humble, down to earth, people think, you know, he's vulnerable and trying to do something or whatever.
Of course.
So it's really important if you are getting bullied, just fix up yourself, because it's all in the mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, without.
Because if you, it's not nice to be get bullied, but the only thing you could do about it now is pick yourself up, and if you need to have a fight, have a fight.
Of course.
You know, if you need to punch somebody in the face for your own self-defense, for your own safety, so that tomorrow that it's not going to happen to you, it doesn't matter. You don't have to win. You just got to kind of grow up here.
Do you know what? Number one rule in boxing, we teach it all the time, is protect yourself at all times.
Yeah.
If you're not protecting yourself in a boxing ring, the referee is going to stop the fight. And it's the same thing outside. Just number one rule in life, protect yourself at all times, because the only person you've ever got to live with is you.
Yeah.
And if you're the one, if you're being bullied and that starts to affect your mental health and your life in general, you got to live with that. So I would much rather punch someone in the face and live with myself going, do you know what? I defended myself and I'm still in good health and I'm mentally and physically cool, than take that stuff outside and carry myself like I'm meek and mild and live a shit life off the back of it. No,
it doesn't work. It doesn't do no one favors, but for the other person who's kind of picking on you, and you know, they get advantage of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And Brandon,
Yep.
how did you get into this, bro?
Well, really, I see these guys obviously training, starting their kickboxing careers.
So you were inspired by your older brother?
He just wanted
No, I
to
just
beat
wanted
me.
to kick their asses, to be honest. I said for years and years, I was like, Mum, I want to go kickboxing, I want to go. She was like, no, you're not going. And then,
are we talking about the real mum or the stepmom?
The stepmom, that's the real mum.
The adopted one.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, I said to her for years, I was like, Mum, I want to go. She said no. And then one day she was like, fine, you can go, but if you get hurt, don't come crying back to me.
Yeah.
And
Which usually happens,
Yeah.
which is fine, you know.
I mean, I'm still doing it, so yeah, no, I never really went back to her with anything, to be fair. I guess these guys kind of just kept me.
So which one's the eldest one?
I'm the oldest. Yeah.
Then it's you.
Who looks the eldest?
Right, look, guys, we're gonna be live. I don't want to offend anyone. Right, I did say politically.
I don't want to offend
none of
anyone,
that.
but Grant, you look old as fuck.
You know what? It's the beard, you know. I have to say, and you know, because you're
It's the beard that makes me look older.
Yeah, I don't look at my beard. Don't look at my beard because in that case I look the eldest. No, but because I think you're the more sensible one. It's just the quiet one, the more mature.
I wouldn't say I'm the more sensible one, but I'm definitely the more quiet one.
Yeah, he's the quiet one. Yeah.
And that comes across that I'm the elder one. I'm listening to what's happening, and then I'll kind of reply back to these boys. Let them kind of do their talking.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, their stories are a lot different to mine. I started kickboxing when I was 12.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Obviously, Stephen being a few years older than me, and then I continued doing kickboxing up until 18. Then I kind of teetered out of it for a little while. Went back in again when I was about 20. I did one more fight, and then that was it. Then I didn't do any martial arts or any sports at all for nearly 10 years.
Wow.
So yeah, their journeys are vastly different to mine. Mine's kind of a bit up and down.
Yeah, but the thing is, you've been doing it for how long now?
Well, since I was 12, but on and off since I was 20.
So what inspired you to get into it?
Watching him, to be fair.
So he's the troublemaker, isn't it?
I mean, I was never in the same position as Stephen. Like, I was never bullied. I was always quite popular at school. I was never an instigator in bullying either. I got on with everyone and just had a good time at school, to be fair. But I liked watching it. I liked doing it. And there's something about getting punched in the face sparring that I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I love doing it.
What, punching people or getting punched?
A bit of both. I don't mind using my face to block something.
But he was always the more athletic of us. Like, he was the one that was kind of born with it. So he was quite frustrating growing up because I had to work at being good at kickboxing or being strong or whatever else. He was just naturally gifted with it. Like, he was fast, he was athletic, he was strong, and that for us was always quite frustrating.
Yeah, back then my power was probably my strongest point.
Yeah.
Did that cause like rivalry between you three brothers?
Oh, there's permanent rivalry between us. But you know what? That's actually good because, like, from our aspect, like,
a healthy.
It's healthy. We just level each other up. Like, I want to be better than him. He wants to be better than me. I want to make sure that because I know they're my younger brothers. They're always clipping at my heels, especially him. Grant's kind of got to that point where now he's like, nah. I've not done it like you guys have, so you do crack on. But
still
Brandon,
still better than them too.
But Brandon wants to surpass me, and that's not a bad thing at all.
I don't know what he's thinking, but that ain't happening.
I've always explained us as we're all three different style of fighters. Like, you were always very technical.
Kickboxing, yours is K1, right?
It started
K1
from
now.
kickboxing.
Yeah, because my friend came on yesterday and he does K1.
Yeah.
And that's a very like a mixed match of a lot of different martial arts, isn't it? Yeah, he was explaining, and I was just like, right, okay. So it sounds a bit like a curry to me. You know, put this in, put that in, put it, mix it up, put some garam masala in. Right, we've got fighting style, wicked. We're gonna go ahead with that. Yeah, and it's just interesting because how fitness and all of this kind of comes together. It's just really interesting because how it makes you better as a person. You know, it teaches you discipline. A lot of people think, oh, you're just fighting and you're doing this and you do that, you're throwing kicks. It's not about that. You know,
so much more to it.
It's a lifestyle. You know, it teaches you discipline, mindset, have good habits in and out the gym. You know how to have self-defense. Especially like what you've been through, and it's really, really important for the kids now to know that it's okay to fight. Because in schools, I've just had a little one, right? And yes, as soon as it starts crawling, right, it's time to go gym, mate. Let's go.
100%.
You know,
100%.
you want them to teach the good and the bad. I want to teach that. Okay, this is the bad. You don't do that, but this is the good side of it. If somebody does try and do something, hit them back, man.
100%.
You know, what? Just because your teacher said it's not right, because your teacher's not going to live with you for the rest of your life. And do you really want to get bullied and go to therapies and shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what our parents always said? Never throw the first punch, but always throw the last. And that's always stuck with us.
That's a good one.
I've
Always throw the last one. Even if it's the teacher in the middle, just go smacking the teacher's face. No, don't do that. So my dad said, always throw the last punch, whoever it is in the front. And it was a teacher, you know.
Sorry, sir.
But yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, like so. From a combat perspective and the aspects that kind of helps instill in you. There's so many things in the ring that we now learn in there that we can now translate into the rest of our life, and the mindset is massive. You know, in the ring, we're never ever going to not get knocked down. Like someone's always going to knock you down at some point. And in the ring, if you can get used to getting knocked down and getting back up, just in the same with everything in life, get knocked down, get back up, get knocked down, get back up.
You can never stay at the top of your game.
No.
I mean, it's good to retire at the top of your game.
Of course.
100%.
Before you get knocked out.
There's
you know.
always going to be someone that just surpasses.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's life, and that's where we learn. We learn when we kind of fail and we get back up and fail again. These are all the learning curves that we have. It's the same with bodybuilding and everything. You know, you're never always strong every week, in and out. You know, last week I had a great hack squat session, but the week before that, same way, and I just couldn't move it. That doesn't mean that I give up. You know, that's just failed, but
Of course.
you don't give up.
And I think if you can learn to fail and see the positive sides of those things, and then that translates into the rest of your life, you go, oh, do you know what, I'm failing in the gym, and then look what I've now achieved from that point.
Yeah.
And then you start having things in life that happen, be it whether you lose a friend, a partner, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be, and you learn to kind of go, well, actually, do you know what, I can get past that. And it's the same in the gym as it is out in life, be it boxing, weightlifting, or whatever it is you're doing.
Definitely.
Sure.
When did you guys first get your world championship?
Oh God, my world title was what?
Don't look at me for that.
2016?
2016, yeah, it was.
And then mine was 2019.
Oh wow, 2016. That's when I was first time I went to the gym in April.
Oh, really? Jeez.
Yeah, I hated the gym before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be a fat boy first. Proper fat boy. Love my food. I still do. I still love my food, but I've just got that discipline of controlling it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And a lot of people think, oh, don't you miss this food? Don't you miss that food? Don't you? I've had it. I know what that tastes like. I know what that tastes like, and I know what it does.
Yeah.
And I'd rather not eat it. You know, I've been there. I've done it. Yeah, once in a while, it's nice to kind of have a break. But overall, as a picture, it's very important to be disciplined in everything in life, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily have that discipline with food. These lot will be the first to tell you that. Like, I love my food, and I would just gorge.
I teeter in and out of it. Like,
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, when you are training in your camp, you can switch on and off.
Oh, God,
Exactly that.
yeah. Like,
See, that's discipline.
It's
Because why
100%
would you
on.
want to deprive yourself with little things if you're not doing any, or if you not want to get in shape, or if there's no camp? Because then you kind of it starts playing on
There's
your
no
mental.
reward at the end of it for us. So
Yeah, exactly.
at the end, we're just like, all right, cool, we don't need to worry now.
And
you
as
don't
soon
need to,
as-
yeah.
And I think you go from one extreme to the other, because you like me, I love my food, but then I'll go straight into camp and it's extreme. And you know, the weight cuts can be extreme if you know, if you've left it a bit too close and stuff like that, which I have done. And then like right at the end of it, you go back to the other extreme where you're still eating as if you were in camp, burning all those calories, and you're still not burning those calories.
Yeah.
So like, and that's where kind of the fluctuations start to come from, and where you get those sort of Ricky Hatton, yo-yo diets as such, I suppose.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So what we're gonna do, I wanna ask you one more question. Do you think everything was an absolute success, or is there more to come yet? Well, now, because obviously now you're a businessman. You've got gyms. You do other real estate. You know, are you gonna go more towards that way, or is there more fighting coming your way?
Oh God. Do you know what? It's hard because I'm at a point in my career where I'm kind of at a crossroads. I've got my 5th pro kickboxing world title coming up in May, the same night these guys are fighting, and I can win that and then go, do you know what? Actually, I could retire here. 5 pro kickboxing world titles. What more do I need? But then I'm just getting back into shape and I'm starting to enjoy it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I could do a little bit more. I will most likely retire in May once I've won that.
I mean, you've said that twice already before.
Yeah, I know that. But so for me, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
So far, your journey has been successful.
Yes, yeah, I'm happy with my journey.
Coming from being bullied, coming out of that, and becoming a world champion in kickboxing.
Yeah.
There's a lot as well that has happened in the middle that Stephen doesn't really tell people either.
What's that?
That has kind of like brought himself to where he is today now, and like the journey that he's had. Obviously, I'll let him explain it more because he'll tell you in detail about it all. But like if you hear his journey from where he was to where he got to, then losing things and then coming back to it again. It's an interesting one, but
go for it, mate.
So see, he doesn't like saying it, but
let's hear it. So, I think that could be an inspiration for someone to say, you know what, I'm doing that.
Nothing's ever plain sailing, is it? There's always bumps in the road.
Exactly,
so.
Yeah, that's it. It's a rocky road, and like since I won my first world title, I then lost everything. So I had a gym. It was actually bigger than what we've got now, 10,000 square foot, near enough.
That you were living in.
I was living in it. Yes, it was a big empty warehouse. It was freezing cold. And actually, to be fair, like as I made the best of it, and it was cool. It was cozy. I made what I could make out of it. But I then lost it, and I had kind of all my eggs in one basket, and the rug got pulled from under us. And yeah, it just kind of. I won the world title. I was on this massive high, and then I lost my business that I'd spent 8 years building up. And
it's mad.
I was like, "Geez, what?"
A lot of people would just break after that.
Oh my God, and I could have been close to it. Like it would have been very easy to break after that. And a few friends of mine at the time, like, "Oh yeah, we'll help you get set back up again." And so then I was like, "All right, cool." So then they helped me get set back up, and that didn't go very well. Having business partners is not my thing.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to have good, trusted business partners.
And that's me being PC with the scenario as to what happened and blah, blah, blah. But it didn't work, right? So then I lost my second business, which I just started building back up again. I've got like 140 odd members in there, and I was like, what do I do now? And by that point, I'm losing friends, I'm losing business partners, and I'm losing clients, and it's like relationships and all sorts of stuff. Like I was engaged, and that all fell apart off the back of it all, and it was just like, oh man, like what am I going to do now? Like this is hard.
And that's a breaking point for a lot of people. They will go into depression, they'll go this, and they'll go. It's a very dark place.
Oh, without a doubt. It was a horrible place to be in.
And no matter what, people just kind of, because of your mentality, your mindset, you pull through.
100%. And off the back of all of that, I then won another 3 world titles. Like I was like, do you know what? I need to get back in shape. I need to it was the only thing that I could kind of clear my head with was go out and run for 10, 12 miles, whatever it may be, and get back in the gym and punch pads instead of punching people. And it was the only thing that kind of kept me back, kept me on track. I then went into my next world title fight, won that. My third world title, I actually only took that because I needed the money at that point, and I was like, my relationship at the time was kind of very money led, and as sad as that sounds, and I was like, do you know what? I need to do something. I need to get some money in the house because this one's going to leave me at some point because I'm broke. And so I took the fight, Then she left me anyway, and then I ended up winning the fight. I stopped that guy. He was a kickboxing world champion at the time, so that was quite nice. And that was kind of like a defining moment for me, where literally everything in my life had fallen apart that could possibly fall apart, and then I was able to pick my ass up, get out on the road. I lost something like 3 or 4 stone.
Wow.
I got in the ring. I had the world title fight. I stopped him in 7 rounds, I think it was.
Round 7, yep.
Yeah, and then
The round I give you the stool.
yeah, and
The
then
6 rounds I didn't let him have the stool, and he was going to give me the stool.
I was
like,
fuming.
shut up.
I want to
I'll
sit down.
I'll give it you next round.
That's a bit harsh.
I give him
I want to
the
sit down, lads.
I give him the stool. He goes out and stops him.
Yeah, it was good. And then after that, do you know what? It was weird because we'd never really celebrated after a fight. Like
No.
it was cool and it was all fun and blah blah blah. But at the end of it, it was Christmas time.
Yeah.
All the people that were there to come and support me, we ended up all like linking arms and we were singing Christmas songs at the event.
It's
and
nice, isn't it?
yeah,
That's
it
brotherhood,
was-
isn't it? That's
it was-
brotherhood,
Yeah,
man.
it was amazing.
At the time, you probably think, you bastard, give me
give him a
the stool, man. But after that,
But do you know
It's
what?
nice.
Then from that point, like it was just defining. Like it just my life just changed. Everything got back on track. We got the gym going again, and we started to build that up. And
so were you all together at all 3 of you together at all of that time, or were you just kind of on your own doing everything when you had lost everything?
No, it was mostly me kind of on my own. Like these guys were around and they were in
Yeah.
the background, but they weren't really kind of that involved in it.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a secret,
Yeah.
being together as a unit. It's that's the key.
Game
Yeah,
changer.
definitely.
That's the key. A lot of people have brothers and sisters, but they're all doing their own thing. But if you put the minds together and do one thing, you're a lot more successful. And not everyone can kind of come in between you.
Oh, 100%. And we're bulletproof. Like that made me kind of going through all of that and doing it on my own made me go, do you know what? Actually, I need people around me I can trust. People that aren't
100%.
going to stab me in the back.
Yeah.
And the only people that I trust that are like that are my brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
And then kind of since then, we've not really looked back.
No.
That's wicked,
I
man.
think at
just
that
flown
moment
since
I was
then, yeah.
probably the furthest away from you I've probably ever been as well, and I was
Yeah.
still there whenever you rang or needed me. I still came to go and see you.
But see, now brothers have come together as a unit. Life is totally different now. If you
Yeah,
look
that's
back at yourself, and if you didn't do that,
we wouldn't be here now. And look, we've got the most trendy gym in Aylesbury. Like it's
love
the
it.
best. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, for yourself, it's and it's growing. None of us are trying to take anything out of it. We just everything we get goes back into.
yeah, exactly, because it's a bigger picture, isn't it? 5 years later, when this is heaving, that's when you can eat the fruit from it.
Oh, God,
But at the
100%.
moment, it's all about investment, and just it is something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Regardless, you don't want 50,000 quid coming in your accounts every month. You just want a good place where you enjoy. You're getting good money out of it,
100%.
and that's it. Life's good. You're paying bills. You enjoying. You go on holidays, and that's the bottom line.
Do you know what? Our long-term goal, and we've said it from day one, is to be able to take our parents and some of our family out of work. We've watched our grandparents, and look, we've never ever wanted anything from anyone, right? But like our grandparents worked their asses off all their life, and our family never got a penny out of it when they died, and that's not because I think people should get anything out of it, but like they worked so hard and there was nothing at the end, right? And then you've got our parents are doing the same thing. They're working so hard and there'll be nothing at the end, and that's not being horrible to them. It's just the truth, and
That's the reality, isn't it?
For
Yeah.
us, if we can come along and change the game and make lives different for people that have cared for us all our lives,
That's
and
what children are there for, really.
And that's where we've got our work ethic from as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Mum and
Without
Dad have
doubt.
always grafted so hard
Always
to
been grafted.
keep a roof over our heads and food in our bellies, and still never really had much to show for it at the end. And that's just kind of
Just makes you realize that there's more to just having your own pockets full, and when you share the cake, everyone's happier, and that's what I say anyway. When you've got children, if your children can give back to you any point in life, that's it. That's a successful family, and you will, and your children will carry that on because they've seen you look after the elders, and then just kind of goes down. Because nowadays in this generation, God has help us all, mate. I'm telling you.
There won't be nothing left for anyone. And do you know what? For me, like, I don't care how much I've got in my pocket. As long as I can cover my bills, I'm not really bothered.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is that we can take them out of work and stop them working so hard.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when you've got goals like that, everything else is just a matter
Materialistic,
of
innit?
time. God, yeah.
Everything, nothing matters. There's no point you driving a fancy car when your dad's still grafting at 70 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly that.
You know, there's no morals there. You know, your dad shouldn't be working at 70 years old,
God, no.
5 days a week, and should be chilling at home. You are providing now. You're old enough. You've got the energy, and use it.
Yeah, I say that. I
was just thinking the same thing.
Fixing leaks.
All right, we'll just edit that bit out. But no, see he's doing that for you though, isn't it? That that generation cannot sit at home.
No.
You know, it's embedded in them to do something.
They
As
grow
soon
up.
as they sit at home, that's it. They're not in the right place.
No.
Like my dad, he had a stroke 20 years ago. You know, he can't walk, you know, whatnot, and left side's gone. But before that, for 30, 40 years of his life, literally worked in Germany. He was in Germany in the aircraft industry. And every single day they work. And one day, boom, stroke, and that's it. You're bedbound.
Jeez.
For the last 20 years, you know. Can you imagine, like, somebody who's worked all their life and all of a sudden, like, you can't even go to the toilet by yourself.
And you can't enjoy the fruits of your labour, yeah.
Exactly. And, but we've been fortunate, you know, we've got 4 brothers and 4 cousins, and we all work together, so it's 8 of us. And we've got, like, God knows, 12, 14 stores now up in Birmingham, and we've got stores in Dubai, and we kind of work together. And if we weren't working together, we wouldn't have been in this situation, you know. So it's that trust. Rather than hiring people from outside, get your family involved.
Oh God,
Yeah, that's it.
You know, why not? I mean, not everyone's got perfect families. We know that, but you gotta kind of have that trust issue.
Yeah,
Especially when you've all got the same goal as well.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Everybody wants to be successful, so why not? Let's get together and be successful together as a family.
Exactly.
and you'll get there so much easier and quicker.
A lot quicker, yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah, you get further as well. So looking back at your journeys now, it started off very individual journeys, which has come together now. Now, what advice, when you started your journey, would want to hear now that you wish you heard back then?
Do you know what? Just stay consistent and trust the process. And I know that probably sounds a bit cheesy, but it's so true. Like,
It is.
without consistency and without the trust in that process, you will never get to where you want to go. And it's very easy to want to see like results now. Just be patient, because I think without those 3 things, you won't get anywhere.
Yeah.
You'll fall at every hurdle.
And I think you went through a lot by yourself. Now, my advice would have been like, if you heard that, you know what, why don't you 3 brothers come together? You're all in the same kind of field and do it together. That's as inspirational that is, because one man can't do everything himself.
No.
So you come together, and if you had these guys with you at the time, and somebody advised you to why don't you get your brothers involved and it will be better, I think you would have been a lot further now,
Yeah.
you know. But again, it's a learning curve, isn't it?
Of course, and also like these guys were quite young when I was doing it, so like I started my journey from. Like,
Shit, how old are you, bro?
I'm 34, but I started all of this when I was 18.
I see you look straight at me then.
It's like, geez, you
How
look
old
like
is your
40.
beard?
You look 40.
31.
31.
And 23.
You guys got a big gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give Stephen his due though. He did ask me a few times to get involved with the gym. But where I said that my life took a different path, like I had a family, daughter, you know, house, kids, whatever. And I was working full time, and I was too scared to take that leap to go away from what I knew was my bread and butter and what put food on the table.
Which is understandable.
But I'm not in that position anymore. So
Do you regret it?
yes and no. Sometimes it depends. I mean, I'm not I don't regret the fact that I've got a daughter at all in the slightest, but I do regret not taking that leap of faith earlier. And potentially being further down the line than what we are now, but we're not doing too bad now.
But main thing is just together, you're healthy, you're fit, and you know, your families didn't get much. Yeah, exactly.
But
Otherwise, it could have been worse.
It all happened at the right time. Like, we all kind of had our own separate journeys, but whatever went on in our lives all kind of went on around similar times, and that's when it kind of all happened at the same time. So it was like we were meant to learn the lessons we were meant to learn, and then come together at the end of it.
I think they're really important as well. You know, learning those lessons and then coming together. Yeah. Because then now you understand and you value family a lot more.
Gotcha.
Because if you didn't go through what you went through, your mindset would have been totally different. Oh, they're just my brothers kind of thing. Yeah, whatever kind of.
And do you know what? We've always been close, but we are closer now than we've ever been.
Yeah.
So
that's nice, man. I like good family unities, man. It's nothing better than that. And you know, it's very, very rare now to find that. It's very rare because my brother does this, my brother does that. Everyone's for themselves, and that's it. And you know, at least you guys can go back home, sit down, discuss business. Well, you don't even need to discuss business really. Just at least you getting to sit on the same table, have same bread, and happy days.
Exactly.
You know, there's nothing more you can ask for from life, really.
No.
You know, and that I think is really, really nice. But moving on, how do you all guys have got families?
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
You got
Ish.
family, you know, as in relationships. You know, you got partners at home, kids, right? Well, obviously, Grant doesn't.
Not the old looking one.
Grant's just come out of one. That's
Yeah, I come out of one about a year ago.
But you were in
a
a relationship, right?
I was in it for 9 years. Yeah.
There you go. So, somebody who's listening now, how, and they're in the same kind of routine. You know, I've got 9 to 5. I want to go to the gym, but I just can't be arsed. I'm too tired. I've got family, my wife, kids. But you know, I'm putting some weight on, but I want to go to the gym. I don't know how to make that balance. Now, what would your number one tip be for somebody who's in that situation, wants to go to the gym, like kind of wants to look a certain way, but how do they find balance?
Do you know what?
What was your secret? Because don't forget, you are in fitness. When you're doing your camp, it's a totally different story. You have to be very selfish. You've got families, kids, parents, life outside the gym. So how would you, as a balanced lifestyle now, would you give a tip to somebody? Say, okay, try this way, might help.
Do you know what? I think the first question is, are you too tired to go to the gym, or are you tired because you don't go to the gym?
Ooh, that's a nice one. I've not heard that one so far.
Do you know what? I see it the other day and I love it. Like, it's so true. Like, I don't think people understand how they feel, forgetting about the aesthetics of it all. Like, just going to the gym and doing even doesn't matter whether it's a 15-minute walk on the machine or whether you're doing a full-blown pump. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's how you're gonna feel after doing that. No one's ever left the gym and said, "I feel rubbish now." I don't think anyone's ever done that.
No.
Everyone, I've asked the same question with everyone, yeah, and that's the same answer that you get. You never leave gym feeling worse than you went into it.
No.
You always come back out feeling better, feeling more energetic, and a better mood.
100%, yeah.
And how would you tell somebody? How would you explain that to someone?
So do you know what? I think you just have to get started. That's the thing. Is we can sit here and procrastinate all day long. And think it's worse than it is. You only need a 20-30 minute workout. Like if we're talking plain average Joe, and they're just going to kind of look good and feel good and the rest of it, to start with and to get started, they just need a 20-minute workout. It doesn't.
Let's be honest, we've all got 20-30 minutes in our day spare.
Everyone has.
Everyone.
How many hours we spend on social media scrolling a day?
Exactly
that.
Remove that, and bet you'd be able to get your workout in. So it's one of them ones. It depends on how much you want it, and you've got to find the reason why you want it, because without that you won't do it anyway. So and if your why is big enough, then you'll find the time and make the time somehow. Like Pegasus, for example, we've got childcare facilities now, so that removes so many people's excuses already because they're like, oh, I can't go because I'm a single mum or I'm whatever it may. Right, well, we've got childcare, so that's that gone. You can, you know, we're cheap enough, we're competitive on price. Like, you won't find that price anywhere else, and you get childcare with that as well. Like,
you can't complain with that.
So it's trying to eliminate as many of the excuses as possible, which is what we did when we set the gym up. What excuses are there for people not to go to the gym? How do we get rid of them?
Even with the parking.
Yeah.
You went as far as with the parking. He walked to every car park in town, told everyone how long it takes to walk, how many calories you burn, whether it charges, how many steps, whether it charges and when it's free, like everything's all on the website. And
I
he spent
walked
an
from
entire
the
day
door
doing that.
to the parking machine to every single place and mapped the whole thing out.
Serious?
All on our website, yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I've not checked it out. I'll check it out.
Yeah, have a look
It's
at
on
it.
the website.
You've done a lot of walking, mate. How many steps was that altogether?
Oh my god, I don't even know how many that was. Could count it up, but it's eliminating those excuses because everyone's got an excuse and they all, like you've probably heard so many times, they sound best to the person making them, right?
Yeah.
It's learning to try and get over those excuses and eradicate them as much as you can do. But 20 minutes, we can all get 20 minutes in anyway.
20 minutes, half an hour, I say. I had friends yesterday and they wanted to get to the gym. I says, look, why are you going to go to the gym thinking that you want to have six-pack? Because that takes years. You know, it takes years. You're already going in with a mindset that's not going to happen.
You're destined to fail. Yeah.
Just go in there, make a habit. Don't even worry about the cleaning up your food to start off with. Just go for a week or two, go in. And after 2 weeks, when you start feeling better and you got the routine, then start cleaning up your food. Baby steps. So that way, at least you're making good habits and you're not burdening yourself.
But everything just seems to snowball. Like, you go to the gym, then you start cleaning your food up.
Yeah.
Then you might start drinking more water, or then, you know, adding on to your session length. Like, when you do one thing, it leads to the next, and then the next, and then
That's
it just rolls,
usually once
know?
you start seeing some sort of progression, you think, oh, do you know what, I'm going to do this
And
now.
then-
Exactly.
And then before you know it, you start to change your mindset. You start thinking, right, how bad do I want this now?
Yeah.
You know, how, like, oh, I've got a goal and I'm going to get to it. How do I get to it? And then you start working at it.
It's just,
you know?
it's just habit.
One thing at a time, isn't it?
Yeah,
One
habit
thing at a
stacking.
time.
You
Yeah.
just stack one thing on top of the other, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be. But if you start with the view of this is where I want to be, forget that. You're not going to. We don't build a house in one go. We build it brick by brick, and it's no different.
That's it.
It all starts from the foundations first.
Exactly. You know, and people don't look at that. They look at the roof. No, I want to have a roof which is that high. Well, you got to get up there from the bottom up.
And do you know what? What I think people forget as well, because they put all of these pressures on themselves. We're in the 21st century now. Everything is on the internet.
Yeah.
So if you can't get to the gym, why you can't just go on YouTube and watch a workout and get started from there? And that's the thing. I think people go, oh, I have to get to the gym, but I can't get there. That's the only way I can lose weight. Nah, there's a path out there. Get jogging on it, get walking on it. Or do you know what? You've got YouTube. Everyone's got the internet. Watch a YouTube workout. It's real easy, you know.
It's probably the most easiest. That's why a lot of people just make excuses.
Yeah.
It comes out how badly do you want. I say this way. I'll put it this way. It's harsh, but it's the reality. Do you want to be on medication in the next 10 years?
100%.
Or do you want to prevent being on medication?
Prevention's better than cure.
Because obviously pharmaceutical people love fat people. They make money out of them. They hate people who are fit and healthy. They make a penny out of them. So that's why they're always promoting stuff. So the people are always lazy. Lazy people are good people for the pharmaceutical industry. And, you know, they make money out of it. And it's a multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry. And if I was a pharmaceutical, if I owned one of them, I'd love fat people too. But thank God I'm not, you know, because I think that it's not nice, you know, playing with someone's health and giving them false hope. And put them on. I went to the doctors once, right, a couple of years ago, and I wanted to do a blood test just to see where I'm at. And the doctor's like, no, we don't do blood tests yet. We'll do it after 40. I go, what for? what if it's too late by then? So I've got nothing to compare. They go now, NHS or they won't do it. I says, what about privately? She goes, you can get it done privately. I says, all right, cool. So now I get a blood test done every single year, just so I know where I am.
Where you're at.
And it cost me 100 and something quid for a year.
Yeah.
And at least I know where I'm at, if everything is okay. And if something is wrong or something's high or low, I can control it.
Well, you've got like ample opportunity to deal with it then.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you wait till you're 40, it's too late.
It's too late. Oh, yeah, you've got
Building for
diabetes now, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now
I'll just prescribe you these medication and just buy this 15 quid on over the counter or whatever it is. And then that's it. That's the end of it. I had a very interesting question from someone about, they've just been diagnosed. This is about 50 years old. He wants to kind of get back into the fitness and stuff. He's been recently diagnosed with high blood pressure and diabetes and something else as well. And see, what would you advise somebody who's going through that? What kind of routine would help them kind of control their blood pressures and cholesterols and all of that stuff?
Do you know what? It's one of the ones. Firstly, they need to consult their doctor and make sure that exercise is correct for them or is a good route for them at that point.
Yeah.
But then the best thing to do is just seek advice from a trainer. Everyone's advice can be slightly different, but the reality is we all kind of work from the same hymn sheet, right?
Yeah.
So go to a gym, and even if you can't afford a personal trainer, go to a gym and just be around those people and talk to them.
Yeah.
Get on a running machine and just walk,
Yeah.
And if it's your first time in the gym, that is anyway, and just walk and just start being around those people and slowly start talking to more people and start getting some advice. Everything is, like I said earlier, everything's online anyway. But just start slowly and build yourself up. Otherwise, you're going to end up going in too hard, too fast, and you're going to do yourself more damage than
Exactly.
you're trying to do in the first place.
See, baby steps are the way forward.
Slow and
That's
steady
how
wins the race,
that's how
right?
I look at it. Now, touching up on lazy people who have got so many excuses and stuff, what do you think of body positivity? People who say it's okay to be fat.
It's not. Do you know what? I don't know. That's a hard question, isn't it? Because I disagree with it. It's not cool to be fat. It's not cool to be fat if you're not happy with it. If you're not happy with your body, then it's not cool to be anywhere you should.
Yeah.
So it's not cool for anyone to put you down either. Like if you're fat, it's not cool for me to sit here and tell you you're fat. But if you don't like it and if you're not happy with it, then change it.
But the problem is they promote it. They say it's okay to be fat. It's okay to be in your skin, whatever skin it is. It's not. You're promoting unhealthy shit.
Of course, which is great.
There's two ways of looking at it. There's one medical side of it. If you medically there's something genuinely wrong, that's understandable. And usually those kind of people are in the gym, kind of keeping their cardiovascular system and all of that stuff going, which I totally respect. And I'm all up for helping someone who's overweight and is going to the gyms, decided, okay, I need to sort myself out. Fine, and I never kind of put those people down. But then on the flip side, you got somebody on the couch, fish and chips, coke. It's okay to be fat. It's okay to be fat. It's okay to be fat. Don't let people tell you it's not okay to be that. You're promoting unhealthy shit, and I'm totally against that.
I'm completely against it. It's completely rubbish. It's not cool. And like I said, it's not cool to allow people around you to be like that either.
Yeah. If they want to be fat, wicked, do whatever you want, but don't promote it. Because I seen a post on social media about anti-diet, anti-exercise, and people saying, "Oh, your life's too short. I'd rather do something else than exercise." Then another clip came up.
How long do you want your life to be?
Exactly.
Because you carry on doing that, you won't be able to live your life to the fullest, as they say, because you won't have much.
You're just gonna burden the NHS, unnecessarily, where you could have just gone and look after yourself. I'm not saying don't have fish and chips. Yeah, have fish and chips every now and then. There's no harm in that. Everything in moderation. I've not had fish and chips for God knows how many years, but I don't crave it. If somebody's bought fish and chips, I'll have a couple of bites, a bit of fish. That's it. That's me done. But I wouldn't sit here.
it's selfish as well, right? Most people have got loved ones or children or whatever it may
100%.
be.
That's
And it's
exactly what I was.
selfish.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Because we're going to end up putting all of our burdens on these people that are around us,
Yep.
you know, and dying early and whatever else that comes with that.
Yep.
You know, whether it means that you end up in, you know, you're in hospital, whatever it may be, someone's got to wipe your ass the rest of your life. Like, that's not cool to put that on someone else because you lived an unhealthy lifestyle. Like,
Exactly.
It's not cool.
It's not nice. Like it says, you know, it's very selfish. And on the flip side, being fitness is selfish as well. You know, because you want to look a certain way, but that pays off in a positive way later on in the life.
Yeah.
You know, you can play with your grandchildren. You can, you know, you're not burdening them. If when it's your time to go, you go. You know, everyone's got time.
It's part of the reason you got back into fitness, really, wasn't it? Because
Yeah. I ended up really overweight.
Really, that's why he's been quiet all of a sudden.
No, so
Oops.
in the last year, I've
That's why he's looking outside. He's like,
Yeah.
what body positivity?
I had no body positivity.
See,
about
now
a year
I like
ago.
that because I used to be a fat boy as well. See, if you now you tell me your side of it. Like, how did it make you feel?
Used to make me feel, even the thought of going to the gym, I used to feel like, nah, too tired for that. But actually,
same.
I wasn't, because the amount of time in a day where I was up and doing stuff, whether that be work or playing with the kids or whatever, I could have easily put half an hour into going to the gym and doing something. But I used to just look at myself in the mirror and just hate it. Like, I did.
You
I
weren't
hated
too
it.
tired to go to the shops and get energy drink, though, was you?
No, I wasn't that.
But it's true.
No,
Everyone will
it's
go,
true.
I'm too tired to go to the gym, but they'll walk to the shop to go and get an energy drink.
Didn't even walk. I was
You know,
too
it's-
lazy.
Really, was it that bad?
The shop was literally around the corner from my house. I could walk there in 2
2
minutes,
minutes.
and I'd still drive it. Yeah, I was bad.
Oh my!
Gets Red Bull quicker.
Yeah, sausage roll. used to love a sausage roll as well. Anything pastry.
Wow.
Loved it. But
So
yeah.
how did you come out of it then? 'Cause that, you know, it's comfort food. You want to be comfortable. Once you get to that stage, people usually don't want to come out of it, and then that's where it kind of it's okay to be fat. It's okay to be fat.
I think
They start
it
shouting
takes,
about that.
it takes something like a big change in your life to alter your mindset sometimes. Mine was the breakup just over a year ago.
Yeah.
It was a big change for me. Obviously, I'd been in it for 9 years. So I decided, fuck it, I'm going to the gym. Had loads of spare time on my hands. I didn't have anything else better to do. All of my friends had all settled. My brothers are at the gym. So I just chucked myself in it at the deep end. So I started off with exercise. Eventually that led on to my food. And then slowly that's now moved on to the water.
Nice,
Over a year ago, you wouldn't catch me drinking one of these a week.
really.
No.
A
Nothing.
week.
A week.
Wow.
Bad.
I would say over a year ago, I probably consumed the big cans of Red Bull, probably 4 of them a day, and that would be it. No,
Oh my God.
no water.
You know,
nothing.
looking at you now, I'd never ever think that. It
But-
just didn't even cross my mind.
Over the last year, everything's changed. Like,
But don't you feel better though?
I feel loads better.
How
I
much
feel
was you? Was like 95 kilos? At your heaviest?
No,
Yeah?
92.
92.
Yeah, 92 kilos at my
92
heaviest.
kilos.
Wow.
And I'm 5'3". So
See, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
that makes it even worse because
I'm down to
height,
72 now.
according to height and all of that stuff.
It's like a dumpling.
A bit like what you look like now, then. Ricky Hatton.
He's you're 6 foot on your Tinder profile.
Oh, is it? The girls are like, where is he? I'm here. No, but that's interesting, you know, because you've gone there, you've been there, you know how it feels, and then you've come out of it, and now you know how it feels.
Yeah.
Same with me. I was about 95, 96 when I first started, and it was just so uncomfortable. I used to hate the gym. I started gym when I was 30.
Do you know what? I think the worst thing for me is because I used to be a fitness fanatic.
Oh my God.
Is that I'd gone from that to where I was to then looking at it thinking I can't get back to that. Like, I loved long distance running, loved it. I'd do it for fun. Just go out on a nice long run, headphones in, time to
Backpack
think.
with weights on as
Yeah,
well.
I used to do backpack with weights on, everything. Do you remember when you first started teaching in Beaton? I used to finish work, I'd run to Beaton, which was just over 3 miles.
Yeah.
Do 2 hours of training, I'd run home. Like,
Crazy.
yeah, it was mad. And then to go from that to where I ended up, and then to being back where I am now, like, again,
That's a wicked transformation, man.
yeah, I'm back at the point where the running this last year, at the start of the year, at the start of 22, running was really difficult. I was mentally, like, I was forcing myself to go out and do it.
But now
need to run.
you've done it.
Yeah.
It's all in your head.
By the time I got to the summer, loved it. Like, I'd just go out and run. For
Now,
fun.
how do you now balance your life?
I just, I
So
don't know,
you-
really. I might have a takeaway once a week. That'd be it.
Which is fine.
But the rest of it, I just make sure I just eat. I can't keep my food. I say I can't. I probably could. That's a really bad way of putting it. But like keeping my meals consistent has been a bit of a struggle over the last year. I would say the last few months have been the best for me. So like I make sure I have porridge in the morning rather than going out and having something else. Or to be honest, normally I just wouldn't eat nothing in the morning. My first meal of the day most of the time would be like 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon. Which was already a bad
It's
habit.
like a bit of an intimate fasting.
Almost.
Yeah.
You could get away with that, I suppose.
Yeah, it depends whether it's healthy or unhealthy. And
do you know what
I always find for me, like if I have too long of a break in between food, I then overindulge in it.
Yeah.
I have too much of it.
Yeah, exactly. Have 5 meals, small ones, and then at a regular.
And do you know what I think the key
Intervals.
is? Most people are not athletes, right? So it's just about making the right choices as often as you can, rather than feeling like I've got to be on a strict diet.
That's
day
what
in,
I was
day
going
out.
to say. It's that consistency of good, clean food, not necessarily measuring your food because
No
what
one's got
for?
time for that.
You know, what for? You're not competing for a fight or something. You don't need to, as long as you're eating healthy, clean, and doing your 45 minutes workout, you're good. And that's where I think a lot of people kind of fall. The thing that you have to do this, you have to do that. No, just keep it consistent. Good, consistent lifestyle change. That's it.
People like to overcomplicate it, which is where their excuses then come from, right?
Yeah.
Reality is, if you want to lose weight, eat less than you're burning. Yeah. So make
Bottom
sure
line.
you're burning. If we're eating 2,000 calories and we're burning 2,500 calories, we're in a 500 calorie deficit. We're eating less than we're burning, and therefore we're then going to lose weight. If you're going to eat 2,500 calories and you're going to burn 2,000 calories, we're now in a 500 calorie plus, and therefore we're going to start putting weight on.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. And the problem is everyone wants to read all these diets. You look at every single diet, they go
Too
back
much.
to the same thing: calorie deficit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're eating low carbs or high protein or whatever the diet may be. It's still a calorie deficit, however you want to look at it.
That's the bottom line of it. You know.
I think when people start overcomplicating things and they start doing things wrong and missing meals, and then I don't know, whatever they do, and they start messing up, it's just constantly negative energy coming from that person. Oh, I haven't done this. I
It
haven't
comes
done
back
Yeah,
to what
yeah,
we said
yeah.
earlier, baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps.
And when you start putting that negativity into you, you then start going, well, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go and get a takeaway.
Yeah, that's
Fuck
it. You
this,
know,
I'm gonna do
you're
that.
just doing it to yourself. No one else is doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing this to yourself.
So then you get inside your own head. But like Stephen said, if you just keep it plain and simple, then you can't mess up.
That's
and
it.
then
You get further where you wanted to be originally.
Yeah.
And do you know what
It's
else
just
then you find?
positivity, and then
The problem then comes once they fall off the wagon is getting back on the wagon. And I always have this conversation with people when we do body transformation programs. I'm like, if you've got a child and every time it tries to walk, it falls over, at what point do you say, don't do that anymore? Don't forget about walking.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't. You never do. You say, get back up and keep walking, get back up. Every
Try
time it
again.
falls over,
Try
you get
again.
up and try again. Eventually, we're walking, we're running, we're not even thinking about what step we're taking. And it's exactly the same with fitness. You might have fallen off the wagon, but get back up, try again. Get back up, try again. Find something that works. Doesn't mean you have to be a boxer or a kickboxer or a weightlifter or a runner. Find what you enjoy, because a lot of people get into exercise and fitness and do the wrong thing. They do the wrong type of training because they don't enjoy it. They do what they think works for everyone else. And the reality is, just find what you enjoy. It doesn't matter whether you enjoy dancing or running or kickboxing or weightlifting. It doesn't matter. As long as you find what you enjoy, that's the first step to finding a way of maintaining consistency.
definitely.
The moment you start doing something you don't enjoy and it becomes an effort and a chore, you'll fall off the wagon, you'll never get back on it, because that's what you associate with success of the goal you're trying to achieve.
Our
Yeah.
coach Mike always says to us, like, consistency with continuity is key. So
Yeah.
like, if you're consistent with it and you continue to do it, then you can't fail.
You're on a winner, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Straight
And
away.
it's the consistency is a very, very important part of it, and that's how I started. I was just consistent. I wanted it really bad. Right? I needed to sort myself out really bad because if I was sitting there like that now, I would have to open the top button on my jeans and zip. That's how bad it was. And it was, can you imagine being sitting in a studio all the time, 6-7 hours like that, and it goes inside you, bro, the button. So you have to open it, you know what I mean? And then I was like, nah, I'm 30 years old, I'm not even married. This can't happen. This cannot happen to me, man. So, and then we had this little video thing that we were kind of getting ready for, and I started looking for a personal trainer. I thought, you know what, let me just sort myself out, because I was going to the gym here and there, not even here and there, to be fair. I went last time, just did some cardio. I used to go and do a few years before that, lost some weight, whatever. But I was just like, forget this, is not my thing. And but then I looked for a PT. A friend of mine kind of walked in and spoke to him about it, and he said, yeah, just join me, I'll help you, and then that's it, And one thing led to another, and I said to him, look, I just want to shred a couple of kilos, whatever it is, a couple of pounds. I want my belly flat. He goes, by the time you get your belly flat, you're going to want to do something else. And then from there, you're going to do, it's never ending. I tell you this now. I says, no, it's all right. I just want to get my belly fat, And here we are, mate. 7 years, every single day, day in, day out, day in, day out. But it was baby steps. But because I wanted it really bad and I had a time frame, I cut out the sugars. I did my diet on to the point, what he gave me, and the workout. But not everybody wants it that bad.
Of course.
But and I can't advise them to do that, because that was like literally like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Why are you not eating? And why are you not? What's this bland food? And I used to enjoy it because that was the only way for me to get there.
And for a lot of people, they don't do it long enough to notice an improvement, because I think it's once you see those improvements.
It takes about a month.
Yeah.
Come on, you've been eating shit for the last 30 years. It's not going to happen over.
Exactly.
But like, you go in and you feel like a lot of people are on the mindset of they're going to get an improvement like that. It doesn't happen.
That's where they fall off.
And that's, exactly. That's where they all fall off the wagon. Got to give yourself that time to see the improvement. And then
I advise people, head down, don't worry about the goals and stuff. Just get on with it. Think about improving your health. That's it. Forget everything else. Just take regular photos. And after 2 months, when you put those photos together, that's when you're going to see that flipping change. Like, what the hell?
That's another thing. I think a lot of people, their mindset is too much on the scales. Don't worry about what the scales say.
Exactly.
Scales, to me, I think scales are bullshit.
Yeah.
Forget about the scales. Worry about what you look like and how you feel.
Yeah. If you feel good and if you visually look good, that's it.
Do you know what I always say to people?
You're not going to walk around with the scale.
I always say, how long did it take you to get fat?
Yeah.
Because it didn't happen overnight.
Exactly.
All right, cool. So then why are you expecting to lose weight in a week? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
You never understand the mindset. It didn't take you a week to get fat. It took you months and months and months. So it's not going to happen overnight to get it off. It's going to take time. And albeit you might be able to do it quicker, there are other ways of speeding the process up. But, don't stop looking at it like, I need to get those results now, and go, this is a long-term process, a lifestyle change. And eventually the results will come.
They do come. It's. I've never met anyone who's put the work in and not had the results.
Yeah, 100%. Never. Because it's impossible. It's impossible to put the work in, be it in your nutrition and in your training, and then not get the results. You can't do it.
It's. I've not heard it. Everyone who's put the work in, it might be 6 months or it might be 12 months. You get the reward of what you put in.
I always say to our body transformation, if you stick to the calorie deficit and you work out and you do exactly what I'm asking you to do, if in 8 weeks time, 10 weeks time, you're not seeing results, I'll take you to the hospital myself, because there's a problem.
I'll take you to Turkey myself. Get the liposuction done. And we'll start again.
But it's true though, if you sit in a calorie deficit and you exercise, no matter what level of it you're doing, you'll lose weight, it will come off.
If you're in calorie deficit and you sit at home, you will still lose weight. You know.
Gotcha.
So there's so many excuses that people make up in their own mind. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Stop making excuses. Just go half an hour. Done.
And be honest as well. That's the biggest thing. Because so many people go, yeah. Well, I haven't eaten X, Y, and Z. Okay,
Yeah.
well, what about the cans of Coke you were drinking yesterday?
Yeah, the sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just be honest and be realistic. We all know what's right and wrong. We all know what we should and shouldn't be doing.
We're all humans at the end of the day.
That's just reminded me of something that you used to do.
Oh, I thought he was going to say that's just reminding me to go and get my Red Bull can.
Do you remember when you were doing the transformation programs and you would, if you heard that somebody was having fast food from somewhere, you would just turn up?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I forgot about it. So we had... he got caught out.
He even done it to me as well when I was in fight camp.
So I'm in the gym, right? I'm teaching a class. And I got a message. Oh, Brandon's at such and such pub eating ice cream. And I'm like, yeah? So I called one of the other coaches and I said, carry on my class for a second. I'll be back in a minute. I live streamed my journey from the gym to the pub that Brandon was at, and I walked in there and I caught him with the ice cream, and I was like, what are you playing at? You got a fight in however long it was, and you still got X, Y, and Z weight to make. Like, this is not cool. So I outed him on it. And I did the same with a client that was on body transformation program. I got a message that he was in the pub, so I live streamed my journey to the pub, and I walked in and I said, you need to put that down right now and get your ass to the gym.
And if I ever get a body transformation program off him. Moving on, very interesting question now. Have you guys ever used steroids? Have you ever thought about it, maybe done it, or what do you think of steroids? People who use it, when should they use it, why should they use it?
First question, I'm only just starting to use supplements now, and by supplements I mean protein, creatine, multivitamins, things like that, like amino acids. Yeah, and that's only because I've just got myself a nutritionist to make my fight camps easier. So Ty is amazing. The stuff he knows is just something else. So from on my side, I know my brothers are exactly the same. Like, we'll barely take headache tablets if we can help it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not. We just don't do it, right? But in terms of steroids and stuff, look, I'm indifferent. If you want to take steroids and you want to use them, that's cool. Don't force them on anyone else, and definitely don't use them in combat sports because someone's going to get hurt, right?
So Mike Tyson said before he was like, in boxing, it's people's lives at risk. So don't put someone else's life more at risk by taking something that's going to enhance that, you know? So, but yeah, I'm the same as Stephen. Like, if people want to do it 100%, like, do your thing, like.
But you know what I've always said, and these guys know as well, like, I'd love to see a drugged Olympics. Can you a complete like a completely separate one?
Do you reckon that's a niche market we can maybe pull off?
I mean, I don't reckon it's a niche.
I think we've got a lot of people joining up.
To be honest, I don't know.
You probably have all the people on the current one jumping in on it.
Yeah.
But I think, like, can you imagine having a proper Olympics, for want of a better term, I suppose, where people are genuinely clean, they're not hiding their drugs and all the rest of it, because let's be honest, it happens, and then having an Olympics that's completely separate, do you know what? It's cool. If you guys want to do it, level the playing field, do what you got to do, and they're two completely separate events.
The enhancement one would be so much.
I would love to see the results that come off the back of it. I would.
Wow, that'd be good. I think we should get in touch with these associations.
What's your thoughts?
Let's do it.
Like I say, as long as there's no contact involved and no one can get hurt off the back of it, what's the problem? Look, it's your body, it's your choice. You do what you want.
By the way, we're not trying to promote any
steroid
use. It's just a simple discussion of what your thoughts are.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't take our word for it.
Yeah.
And it's not good for you.
Yeah. Look, if you're gonna do it, that's up to you. Like, that's not for me to say whether you should or shouldn't. But don't force it on anyone, and don't do it in combat sports. At least you just don't.
And it's very, very important. If you are going to use it, make sure you are under the guidance of a professional who does use it. He's a bodybuilder. Usually it's in bodybuilding, not in any contact sport or anything. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but luckily we've not come up against it, so yeah.
Yeah, but if you do use it, you have to do a lot of your research.
100%. Do your
Don't go
research.
to Google forums.
No.
They're not very helpful. You know, people who are actually use it, and like myself, if I wanted to go on stage, yes, I have to take it because everyone on stage
It's taking it.
is enhanced.
I get it.
I can't go there naturally and compete with them. But on the flip side is, I'm gonna find a coach who's done that journey himself, who's been through it, and I would get guidance of him because he knows what to do, what to take, and what not to do. Because a lot of people now just like to inject themselves.
Yeah.
You have kids, yeah, I'm running this and I'm running that, and I'm, yeah, but do you know what the side effects are? Like, if you do it properly in the guidance, yes, you're safe. But if you don't know what you're doing, there's a lot of dangerous side effects,
Or you're as safe as you're gonna be, because let's be honest, the side effects could be coming on down 20 years down the line. But if you are gonna do it, then definitely seek someone that knows what they're actually talking about.
Yeah, because there's loads of stuff out there. So many like substances that you can take. I mean, I can just name a few. Like from training is probably the most toxic out there, and it probably has the most side effects to it.
Yeah.
But you've got Testy, Anabol, D-Bol, and Winstrol, and Anavar, and Decker, and even fat burners.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get fat burners off the shelf, but because the whole supplement industry is not regulated, you can make anything up and sell it as a supplement.
Yeah.
That's crazy, that is.
Yeah, that is nuts. And let's be honest, we don't know what we're putting in our bodies half the time anyway. Yes. Read the ingredients on your Red Bull. You know what I mean? You don't know what half it is. It's ridiculous. But
the main thing is he's come out of it, and we're on the better side of it.
Yeah. But I think, do you know what? If you're just a general gym goer, you're just trying to lose weight, and why would you even want to do it anyway? Like, for what purpose? Other than to try and cheat. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to try and lose weight super fast. Like, just do it slowly and progressively, and you'll get to where you want to be. You don't need to.
I also feel like there's no, or for me, there wouldn't be no satisfaction at the end of it because I cheated.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's my take on that. And also drugs are bad.
Plus, like I touched up earlier, your side effects might come later on in the life, 15, 20 years later, not straight away.
But don't they say something like you've only got to take like a drop of steroids, and within 20 years you're almost guaranteed to have a heart attack of some sort? I don't know the exact statistic on that, but
again, blood tests and stuff is really important. A lot of people don't do that when they first start their cycle. You have to do a blood test to see where your natural stuff is, and then in between to see where it's gone, and when you come off it, you have to do it again. So that alone is about £600-700 just 3 tests there,
Wow.
But it's really important to do it. Of course, because you need to know where your internal body is. It's no point looking a certain way when from inside you're completely finished.
Yeah, of course.
I get my blood tests done from a friend of mine, and he said to me, just before he got married, he's got on a cycle, and he's looking in amazing shape. The day he got married, he's like, "Doc, nothing's working."
Can you imagine that?
I did tell you, right? Now, what do you want me to do now?
How embarrassing.
See, people don't think of it, they just think, yeah, I look great, my wife's gonna love it. But it's pointless. It's pointless. So if you don't need it, if you're not that elite pro bodybuilding vision, don't do it.
You don't need it.
You don't need it. Especially when you're not 17, 18, 20 years old. It's understandable you're on testosterone or whatever, past 35 going into your 40s, because naturally your test levels start dropping. That's understandable. And I think test is probably the safest one to have.
No idea.
At that level. But before that, you don't need that. You know, you don't need any of that. You're naturally strong and you got your testosterone levels higher anyway. So,
But even then, it's still an extreme, isn't it? Because again, the only reason you're ever going to need things like that is if you're competing at the highest level and it's to level the playing field because everyone else is on it. Like otherwise, a general gym goer just in the gym trying to lose weight or just training for fun or because they enjoy it for their mental health, they don't need to be touching any of that anyway.
yeah, exactly. And now touching upon food. How important is food when it comes to weight loss or fat loss? Because they're the two different things. And a lot of people would rather lose fat sitting at home, which is understandable. I'd love to happen. I don't want to go to the gym just for fat loss. If I can do it at home, just with my opinion on my food, why not? You know, there's no excuse for that. Unless you're Asian and your mom or your wife cooks nice curries, then that's understandable. It's just hard to get away from that.
Yeah, of course. It's I think it's just as important as the exercise. You know, exercise we do for many different reasons, be it mentally, physically, fat loss, all the rest of it, and for your cardio and just for overall general health. But your food is plays a huge part in it. What you eat on the inside is going to come on the outside, right? So if you're eating shit, you're going to look shit.
I think with food, a lot of your problems are solved as well. Eating good food, your diabetes and your blood pressure and all of that. If you are going to the gym, fine, but if you're still eating crap, and a lot of people I know, they still go home and they have their curries, they have this, and they look like shit. You think, what's the point? But if you go to the gym for years, you want to lose a gut. Oh, bro, I want to lose a gut. I want to lose this. Okay, what are you eating? Forget the gym. What are you eating? Oh, I can't get away from the curries, man. I can't do this. My mom makes nice food. My wife makes nice. Well, then that's the problem.
Can't or don't want to.
Exactly. And until you don't change your eating habits, which is what, more or less 70%.
Yeah, pretty
you
much.
can go to the gym 3 times a week. 3 times a day, and nothing's going to change.
Well, that's why they say you can't out-exercise a bad diet, right? Because it's true, you can't. Like, you can be in the gym all day long, burn as many calories as you want, but if you're going home eating shit, you're still going to feel shit. You're still going to look shit. Like, there's nothing positive about it. And that's not to say that you can't have takeaways. I mean, we were touching it, but unless you're an athlete, then you can go and have a takeaway, just in moderation, isn't it? Make the right choices where you can, and if you can, set yourself a day where you go, do you know what, on a Friday, I have a pizza. Alright, cool. And just create that routine. Then it stops you from craving that stuff, because this is where the problem comes. People go, right, I'm on a diet, that's it, I'm not doing nothing. And then within a week, they're craving it, because it's not sustainable.
Everything has to be, for a new gym goer anyway, who wants to have a change of life, change of lifestyle, how to do something that's sustainable, and then that itself will just kind of make that discipline, and things will change in a better. Obviously, Grant knows best here. He's been there, he's done it, and now he's a totally different person, And what we'll do is I'm going to have a quick short break here, and I've got a couple of questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. Trial and test everything, and
What you enjoy.
Why do you enjoy it? That's it. Thank you very much, gents. We'll leave it here, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.